I guess I'll start off. So Brett Foe, he ended up skating off the athletic trainer in that first game. Do we have any updates on him?
Yeah, with Brett, I mean, I don't want to sound evasive, but it's an upper body injury. It's a day to day. He's rehabbing it. He's been skating on his own to keep his conditioning up. It's just one of those things where he'd heard it a little bit before, and then in the game he heard it, went out again, tried to play a shift later, and then it was like, yeah, it's not getting any better. And so we're looking at Brett as a guy who's trending the right way in terms of his injury, and we're hoping that Brett will be ready to go full speed later this week, first part of next week, and be an option to go with us to Minnesota State Mankato.
And then throughout the series, you were able to skate around with number 18 Western Michigan throughout the weekend. But in that second game, of course, took you a little bit to kind of really start getting those two goals finally kind of set in. What are you guys looking at to kind of move forward, especially going towards number two now, Minnesota State in 2 weeks?
Well, we know we're going to have to defend against Minnesota State. They're, like you said, they're as good as any team in the country, regardless of where they're ranked. And the one thing that Western Michigan did was possess the puck a lot against us. And so if we look at that Western series, uh, their first period of the first game was really good, and we spent a bunch of time defending, and Zach Rose did a really good job keeping it close. The second period we got going, and then that game got away a little bit at the end at 4-1, but it was a 2-1 game, going into the third. So we didn't start great in the first period, and then they scored goals early in the second and third, which was difficult. So we'd hoped that, we would come home on Friday and play better at home, and the first two shots of the game went in. And it's not, Christian Stover will tell you that he wishes he could have those back, or he felt like there were some he didn't play well on, but he didn't see either of those first two shots. So that's a hard spot for him. So now in a game, you think, all right, we're going to get off to a good start and we're going to play good. Now you're down 2-0 early, and they've taken two shots. So that's mentally, that's just a tough spot to be in. And then we were chasing Western Michigan all night. They were really good offensively. We weren't great defensively. And so our focus moving forward here has been, number one, trying to get guys healthy, and number two, defending better and playing in our own defensive zone.
And then just going into the series just got canceled, that exhibition game. Do you have any updates on kind of why it got canceled?
Yeah. I'll be 100% honest with you. We looked at it. So we've played 6 games in 14 days, and we were banged up. We lost Brett Foe against Western Michigan. We lost Hunter Lelig in the Western Michigan game 20 seconds in. We were already playing without Anton Malmstrom on the back end. We were without Ethan Scardina and Seth Fighton and Chris Collin. So we had some injuries leading into the series. Yesterday when we practiced, we had 11 skaters not practice of our 28. So we wanted to go through the weekend, let the dust settle, see how guys who had been hurt or gotten hurt were doing. And then Sunday night, we reached out to the Adrian coach, a guy who I know real well, and I just said, Adam, I think we're going to have to cancel this series or this game. And he said, what's going on? I just said, I told him about our injury situation, and he said, I understand. It's unfortunate. They were excited about it. It's unfortunate, but we looked at, of our 4 goalies, Zach's coming off of surgery. Christian had cut his finger, and so he's still dealing with that. So 2 of our, and then Sam Avola didn't practice for part of last week. So 3 of our 4 goalies were dealing with something. 3 of our 5 or 8 defensemen were dealing with something, and then we're down 4. So it was a, I don't want to say perfect storm, because that would mean it was good. It was the imperfect storm for us. It was a situation where our health and long term, we had to look out for what we believed was in our team's best interest.
Just wanted to bring up the Slater renovations. Obviously, you had your quote about expressing your gratitude about the new renovations coming up this spring. You've been here as a player, as a coach. Even though this arena holds a lot of history, are you excited to see developments?
Yeah, I think more often than not, when people who have been in our facility before or haven't been here and are in Slater for the first time, they're always impressed by the atmosphere. And for a building as old as our building is, it's clean, and we've done, and the university and the athletic department have done a really good job of continuing to add and enhance Slater Family Arena. And if you're at a game, or both, the first game against Michigan State, the atmosphere was great. The other night against Western, the atmosphere was great. And if you look at the building and you're in it for a game with the video board at the one end, everything looks great, but it looks like it's 90% finished when you have that unfinished area on the one end. And we believe that once we finish that one end off, it'll complete the building from a in-game experience for our fans and for our players, and then for other people that use the facility. It'll be a really, really, what is already a really good atmosphere. We think it'll enhance it even more.